Well, I guess this will be one of my next installments. It's for basically breaking down the costs of my game, but basically for the people who want to, or would like to, I should say, invest in this game that I have, or perhaps that want to be involved either in maybe a little bit of the work or of the playing of the games. So I started breaking down costs and everything. One of the biggest cost things was the minimum amount that I'm going to give as prizes, because I have to when I play this game take everything into consideration that all the costs are going to be bared, and I'm not going to have investors or anything like that. So everything I have to do is on my own, other than playing the game and having those people play. So I thought first that having an ante to come in, or an entrance fee or something, might be a little hard to get people to do, because I don't want to add, they would say insult to injury, but injury to insult. So if they were to walk and lose, they couldn't play the game, it was too hard for them, and then they also don't get their, the $1,000 back for saying that they could, I would kind of feel bad. So I thought, well, what about an investor, or somebody that, like I say, not to say a sponsor, but somebody that will invest in the game or into themselves, and how to be able to let them invest and still play and keep things fair. So I thought this is a good thing to bring into costs. So first of all, if I got a minimum grand prize of $10,000 for first, $5,000 for second, $2,500 for third, and I break that, just keep cutting it, basically keep cutting it in half all the way down to last place. So even last place gets a little something. It might just be $5 or $4.88 or something. But anyway, I got it written right here. Yeah. So I got two different ways to divide up that are so close, but one is to keep it to the decimal point, and then the other one is to keep it to round numbers, but that break down from 10,000 all the way down to $2.50, and the other one breaks down all the way down to $4.88. Okay, you can do the math, cut them down in half, you'll come up, or then you can do when you get to 2,500, cut it down to 1,000 rather than starting to use decimal points there. So anyways, the idea is to give that as a minimum. So now I have to, that's a chunk of the money. Now 10,000 plus 5,000 plus 2,500 plus, once the larger sum is about just under, but about $20,000 in total of those prizes. So that has to be, first of all, be able to be paid out right at the end of the game out of my pocket if I don't have investors. Then a few other things come into costs here. There's things like the cameras. Now I don't want people get all different cameras for this game and have trouble uploading and stuff. So I have to take on camera costs. So I know you got these cameras that are called GoPros, and cameras and such that are like that. They're super inexpensive. The best thing is to buy, I don't need as many, a few less than this, but I want 30, because what I basically want is 2 cameras for every person, plus an additional couple cameras on my behalf, so when I'm shooting the live events or the games that I can do them not from their point of views, but from overall points of views. And all these cameras have to be able to basically be uploaded to computers, and I need to do this quickly, not 15 cameras and then do from one computer. So I also 30 GoPro cameras is what I have on my list. I'm figuring I can get them on sale and all of them up, hoping for like $3,000, something like that. Anyways, the computer that I'm using right now, the idea behind it is it does more than what I'm requiring right now for it. So for me, if I can get 15 of these, that gives me a couple extra in case, say, 1 or 2 were to break down while I'm out in the bush, that I can actually just swap them out, or get them back into town and maybe take a week or 2 to get them fixed. But just so I can ensure that I'm always able to hook up a camera to a computer and start uploading it to the internet. Next would be 2 generators. They don't need to be the biggest generators, and then enough fuel for 3 months, so I can turn them on when I'm required to get running all my energy and everything. That's something. Now there's maybe a couple batteries, it just kind of worked into the price too, but a few batteries and a little bit of converter, just so while the generators are running, I can store some of that power, because computers don't use that much energy. But the idea is that I can turn off them and I still have the energy from the battery packs, you know. But anyways, I got about $3,000 for that I'm putting in, you know, and that's all priced out. I have 15 sets of walkie-talkies. Now, I know there's only 12 sets of people playing, but again, it's that if one or two break down, I don't want to have big deal issues, and I want everybody to have the same kind, so it's easy to plug in. They have a walkie-talkie, it stays off. I have my walkie-talkie, and it stays on, so if there's ever a distress call, I can always hear whichever walkie-talkie and know exactly where I have to head out, you know, if there were hell. Now, this is a camping trip / game, so, you know, nobody's going to put themselves in more jeopardy than they already would camping. The difference is imagine if you were camping and you knew that just a walkie-talkie away was help. If something, you know, you cut yourself bad or something, anything can happen. I've had a few incidences in the bush, and you know, it's not to say scary, but it's, you know, it definitely plays in your mind of what safe is. Anyways, I looked around online for different satellite internets, because I don't want to have to like bring all this footage, which I could do to lessen my cost, but you know, do a trip, you know, every 12 hours back to, you know, to civilization with a load of the cameras just to be able to upload them onto the computers, so I can get them on the internet. So I looked at the, you know, the pretty much the most expensive internet for 3 months satellite feed, that, you know, the best of the best that I could find. I'm not very well understood on the internet to find where I'm looking for stuff, so I'm sure somebody could find a better deal. And again, this can be one of these things that somebody wants to advertise how good their satellite internet is, and it can go anywhere. Well, I'm in the middle of the bush, and they want to provide me with 3 months of a satellite feed so I can upload all my video directly out of the bush, and people will see it right up, you know, live events on YouTube through their satellite feed. This is something for the satellite companies to come in and say, hey, well, you know, at no cost to them or to me, I'll invest or advertise them by them letting me use their satellite, you know, for 3 months. So this is a way, again, but if I would have to take that out of my pocket, I'm figuring for the 3 months, it's going to set me back about $1,500 to get the best of the best that I can find and see. Now, if I could find maybe a little better and it even cost me a little more, I would maybe even take that investment, because I want, with this, the best of the best, to be able to upload and get things done. You know, I know my computer, the video card in it isn't the best, you know, it's not the highest quality video card, but that's not, it's the camera itself. You know, you get a good little GoPro, and it's the video it uploads to YouTube, and the quality of your video card on your computer that's going to give the graphics. Depending on the amount of people playing, because I get, you know, I want to have a person playing and then their nominator come, and the nominator is basically like added refs and stuff, you know, to be able to watch things in the background, you know, help, you know, upload and watch footage, and you know, crop out, you know, and get it onto a little flash drive and then hand it over to me saying, here's all the good clips of the person that I nominated, you know, so you can upload these things, and here's all his advertisements already, you know, cut out and put into nice little sections, because that would be going out on their channel. Now I can edit from that what I'm going to be putting on the overall 13th channel. Now I figure with having the few extra people, the food that I'm going to need, plus, you know, I have also on a separate line the supplies for the games, you know, things, you know, like, I know it sounds stupid, but if you're just to go get like a chunk of steel, you know, I'm sure I could just melt some metal myself, you know, just get a hot fire and chunks of metal, and so that, you know, you can't, you know, it's not a nice piece of metal, it just looks like scrap metal. But things like that, you know, like things like perhaps forms of kinds of tools that, you know, might be more, say, I don't want to make it sound like readable, but, you know, like just certain things that you might want to give, you know, like tar. I don't call that necessarily a tool, but it really, really helps when you're building something, you know, in the sense of, you know, like a birch bark canoe. So having these things bought or given, again, as if people want to advertise their product, like if I need tar and they say, hey, we're going to give you some tar from our company, just advertise our company. So now we got some, you know, some crude tar for people to use. that's it. Now, if I have to go get a jar, or a can of tar, or pitch, if you will, from the hardware store, and pour it into another container, so I'm not giving name brands out, and then that's on the trading cart. You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff that we need to be able to buy and have in the game. That's not that expensive, but I figure $3,500 to $4,500 that will feed the people. Where nobody's eating lobster dinners and stuff like this while we're out there, but bacon and eggs on Sundays, something like that, and some home fries, those kind of just basic common meals that they keep humans happy and healthy. So that's one part of the game. Now there's another cost to the game that is the land and essentially my little building. Now I already have a very large trailer. I think it's a 27 footer, rather large. It has a upraised back level even in it. It's large enough. I think it sleeps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's eight beds. There's 3 double beds and 2 single beds, but one of the double beds can be made into a single bed. So it's like either 3 single beds or you can extend that 1 single bed to a double bed. So anyways, it's like I have a lot of room already there in a trailer. Now, I planned myself on building a very small, crude building for myself, but it's essentially to have all the computers and everything housed, and also just a basic bathroom for like myself and the essentially the crew members and stuff. Again, nothing crazy elaborate. It's not like going to be Taj Mahal bathrooms or anything here, but I just want to give some basic home comforts. Like a regular toilet and something like that. I don't want nobody sitting on a porta potty or something like that, or outhouse. So there's going to be basic levels of comfort. Now, I'm most of my life I've been a renovator and a person that has just worked on homes. So for me, when I get out there, it would be small basic things will be just somewhat easily. Now, you can go to recreationalland.net if you don't necessarily believe the words I'm about to say, so you can see it yourself. But 160 acres is roughly what I really do want. I can go smaller, but I want 160 acres. Now, 160 acres square is a square kilometer. Okay, so that I'm looking. Now, a lot of these lands that on there that I'm looking at are surrounded by crown land. That's government-owned land. You're allowed to camp, hunt, fish, that kind of stuff on those lands, as long as you have the right licenses and you follow all the laws. So, camping, you can't... There's squatters, and that's not what I'm playing out of this game, but camping, you're allowed to camp, but you can't stay permanently somewhere on crown land. So, like the Indians, thousands of years, a movable camp is basically part of the game in this, because people are going to be taking your campsites in this game and stuff and be searching for them, and so it's part of the game. So the idea is the land around the land I want to buy, and I also should mention the land will be my cost directly, no matter what. I'm buying the land. That's not anything to do with anybody who invests. The land, I'm buying it to be able to actually live on my own, or not live, sorry, on my own, but own it myself. Sorry. And here's the kicker: the land that I'm looking, all the lands that I've looked at, and I've looked at, I'm wanting all the rights to the land, meaning mineral, meaning underground, what they call your trees, right? Not tree right, but trees, meaning you own all the trees on the land, and what they call surface rights. And that's what you can do on the surface, and that you have the right to do things. Now, also, I'm looking, and all I'm really wanting is an unorganized township, meaning that permits and laws of the building things don't apply the same way at all. You're allowed to build crude buildings without, extravagant laws being watched and everything, which I'm not trying to build anything, crazy or big. It's just, it's like if you're in an organized township and you want to build a little cabin, well, you have to keep it under 500 feet or 500 square feet, or you're going to get subjected to a lot of taxes. Now, the land that all of them I've looked for, I think think one of the highest priced taxes per year. This is per year, a whole year worth of taxes. I think the highest priced one I seen was $17 for, I think it was 154 acres, that one. So 154 acres for $17 in taxes a year. In my house right now, I pay what people consider very low, and I spend just under $1,200 a year on my taxes here. So taxes aren't going to be an issue. Not to say building laws are going to be an issue, but because I'm not building a bunch of stuff for people, but I'm just going to build a small little building that's essentially a common area. I've built many little tiny, not to say garage-like things, but just essentially, so everybody has their own little room. Like I have that trailer that I have that sleeps comfortably in rooms. Like I say, 8 individuals. So that's one thing, and I know that if I did a little modification, I could easily fit 12 people in the trailer. But who wants to be 12 people in a trailer? But if you're only using it for sleep, I guess it's not that big of an issue, because you'll be usually watching and doing things with the game. But again, like I said, I need one room that will be subject to the computer, basically the computer room that I'm gonna have to build. I cannot put 12 computers in my trailer and then also house people in there. It just that would never work. Like I have the little tiny bathroom in there that I think would be a great thing already. So people, at night and stuff don't have to go out. And they could just go use the bathroom in the trailer. But it's just all the basic common things that people actually need, that don't want to sit there and play the game and live, with basically nothing and build something from it. You want to give them all their basic comforts. So, the supplies and the grand prize is, 3, that's 12, 15, I got about $16,000 in costs of material. So we could even say round up to $20,000, and that'd be like, woo. And then another $20,000 in grand prizes. That I can basically easily cover from the sale of my own house here. Because I want to move to this land too. Now, I easily cover the cost of that. Plus, buy my land, which, like I got here, is a minimum of 10. I want more than that, but a minimum of 10 grand. So for me, $50,000, and I can literally pay out grand prizes, buy all the material, everything, and even out of my pocket, have the cost of those people come in, watch their players play the game and everything. Now I thought, because this is an investing video, and also is how you can get people to invest in this game, because I don't want a big investor to come in and say they want to, I will never give up control of my game, number one. I thought about a percentage of how you would do it and how to sell it. I thought, well, maybe I just am looking for, I thought maybe just look for investors who are going to invest in the season itself, not next, if I got another one and another one, because I thought if I do keep this as a form of investment, that I can also give a percentage to the investors if they play the game. So if I can get the players themselves to be the investors rather than, like I had mentioned on other video, an ante or an entrance fee, if you will, have that removed, but actually have them invest in the game. And what it will turn back is the profits made from that game, like all the profits that end up coming from the game, they get a percentage back. So I thought, because like I say, 51%, I got to control at least 51% in profits and all, because I never, and I won't even give, the percentage I'm talking about isn't also control of what happens in the game. It's you getting money back from the profits of the game. So I thought, well, if you got first place, second place, and all the way down to 12th. So first place, you give 6%, would get 6% if they win. So you win first place in this game, and you invested the same everybody will invest. I thought a great number, because I broke it down, is $2,500 per investor. That can be you, the one playing, and your nominator, and anybody else you want, basically on a form of contract. But it's basically, I'm going to give at the end of the year 6% of the money made from the game. you know, if I was to get, say somebody invested, I don't want to make it sound crazy, but we made $1 million from advertising and all this, and people were giving, I got all this money. Well, 6% of $1 million, is a lot of is a lot of money if you start to think about it, because 6% of $1 million, you're sitting there with what, $60,000, so it's a very small investment if you think $2,500 to turn around and have $60,000 at the end of the year if we had just $1 million in advertising. Now I'm sure I could, at least in the second season, third season, the more this gets well known, that investment property or that investment amount would just climb. That's why I say I'm thinking about just doing it per season, and then perhaps doing it for every season, so that people basically, it's like a form of ante, but it's not an ante, it's a form of investing into the game yourself and insuring. Now you could play the game and not get that investment part, and maybe you just want to play the game. I thought maybe we could handle doing that with both people, but I thought it would be more fair, especially for the first season, to have 12 people who all invest $2,500, so that's a total of $30,000 right there. And then that's when you get first place gets 6%, second place gets 5.5%, third place gets 5%, fourth place gets 4.5%, all the way down till 12th place gets 0.5%. Okay, so even 0.5% of $1 million is a lot of money. It's more money. You're getting all your money back in the investment. Okay, so you just have to think about it that way. That's a good chunk of money. So anyways, the idea is you can get, now that's, if you total all those percents up to 12 people, that's 39% of the profits I'd be willing to give away right there, just back to the players. All right, now that's 39%. Now I'm willing to give up to 49, so that's another 10%. Now I thought that 10% there, that I would have that, I want to call it like a bidding war. I thought about maybe having it hidden in a sense, so nobody can see what another person bids. It's just you basically write what you're willing to bid on playing the game, to invest in the game, and I'm going to sell all 10 at 1% in 10%, but only one. So I'm looking for 10 investors, and you could buy multiple percents if you want, but they're individual bids, and you bid what you want to bid for 1%, and the highest bid gets that percent. So if I have 10 single percents and you can go bid on all of them, like say you, and I'm going to put a what I call the minimum cap, and it's like the players, $2,500, and you get 1%. Then I also thought, well, to be really fair, and like the guy in 12th place who only gets 0.5%, I thought, well, $2,500 for 0.5% may be more fair, but it also depends on how many people to say want to play, it's not play the game, but want to, bid and kind of like an auction way on this, on the percentages. So the idea is if I get more input on one than the other, because then I can have, if I do 0.5%, then I can have 20 investors at $2,500 each. That right there is 20 times, that's 5,000, 10,000. Yeah, 2,500 times 20 people. I hate doing math on the spot, and especially on the camera. It's 5,000 for 2 times 10. That's $50,000 anyways. So $50,000, and you got that right there with just from those 20 investors at a minimum bidding would cover the whole game cost right there. So you got the cost of the people that just put the investors that just invested and are playing the game and have put in $30,000, plus you got the investors who put in $50,000 to have a percentage of the game. That right there just gave you a percentage. The players that are playing just gave them a percentage, their percentage, their money is coming back already by the other investors who are investing in the game. Now, and that's not from the advertisers or anything like that. So this game is going to be played, so, I don't want one person getting more than another. Essentially, I'm not looking to be the big rich guy here, because, if I get a person that invests, let's say I got a total of $2 million in investments, and I was able to give the $1 million prize, the $500,000 prize, the $250,000 prize for first, second, third, all the way down to 12th. If I could give that and I had $2 million of investment, well, you don't get that 6% all of a sudden is going to be different, but first place is also different, because now first place ain't going to be getting $10,000. First place is getting $1 million. So now you have to think about that as the player who invests, because if I got the investment money from the other people, that's going towards jackpots and stuff to be able to get people more happy and want to play the game more, So you get a percentage, or basically it's like you get a raise in the amount of money. Now, if you do the math, the raise in the amount of money can generally make you a lot more money for your percentage, because if you put $2,500 to play this game and you finish in first, you didn't get 6% of $2 million. You got $1 million because you got in first. That's simple math, right? If you're getting 6% of $2 million and you've got $120,000, or do you want to have, because you're in first place, get the $1 million prize? You're going to take the $1 million prize, but you still get 6% of everything after you got your $1 million prize and everybody else. So let's say there's still another $100,000 overall left over. You're still getting 6% of that $100,000 in all. So in a way, it's the best way to invest, because you're investing in yourself to play the game. And to have people invest in themselves is also going to ensure that they put out their best for this game. You're not going to be slacking. You're not going to be, you're going to be telling jokes. You're going to want people watching your videos, and Now, one of the parts about the computer when I buy it is the hard drive and the time. I've went so far in this game as to think about how many hours of footage will be uploaded in 3 months. And it's a crazy answer, but it's roughly just under 30,000 hours between the 12 individuals and the extra camera basically that I'll be running for the extra stuff. There'll be about 30,000 hours of footage in 3 months uploaded to YouTube. That is, I would like to know if there's any other thing on YouTube that uploads that much footage. Because if I play this game 9 months later like I want to, not like 1 year later, 9 months, and then 9 months after that one, and 9 months. So the first one's in fall, the year after it'll be in summer, the year after that it'll be in spring, and it's basically in the 4th season, the best of the best, and let's do a wintertime one here in North America. But the idea is, that's a lot, even in low quality, that's 15, I believe they call them terabytes. Okay, it's 15 terabytes of pretty much low quality footage. You bring that up to higher quality and we could be talking 30 terabytes. Now, terabytes aren't that expensive, but again, that's a little bit of the cost that I have built in with the computer costs. But just think of how much footage is going to be uploaded. It's going to blow YouTube out of the water in time in itself. So if you can think about that as an investor, and especially if you're an investor / advertiser, you're investing in the show, plus maybe you want to, you can work a side deal with me or other, maybe you're investing and you're a nominator too, you know what I mean, and you want to be an investor. Now, of the people investing, of the 10% to say I have extra, I'm willing to give up to that 49, of those, I'm looking for the workers, or if you will, like the host, for the game. Now, if I got a person that that's really good on camera, and I can choose out of those, say, 10 people in those single 10% that I'll be dividing up, or maybe 20. But let's say out of those 10 people, I can choose a host. So the host himself is gonna, and I know he's not camera shy like me. You can clearly see I'm not a camera shy person. I don't sit there and I don't do that. I don't, I'm not I don't care about my physical appearance and all that kind of stuff. That's why I'm not sitting there, glam shots on my face and everything. And I care, I care more about this cat, and making sure he was in the clip. I love my little kitties. So, anyways, the idea of this is, if I can get out of those 10 people, one person that hosts, one person that is the trailer, or the person that's on the trading cart. If I can get that kind of, those people that are running the game, people that are helping to not design but have things pre-prepared for games and things like that. If that's the kind of crew that I can get out there and work, and they're the ones that invested themselves, everybody knows everybody's going to be putting out their best to be able to make themselves as much money as they can in this game, because those percentages are for everybody else. So everybody, you're not there working because you're there for $10 an hour, and it doesn't matter how crappy of a job you do, you're working for $10 an hour. And even worse, if it was like unionized and you just have to do this bare minimum amount and you're fine. We're not looking for anybody. We're looking for people who are right out there. Now, to say, I'm going to maybe use some names. There's is it Bobby John there from Survivor? Was, that guy, when you watched him play his game, he was a hard worker. He tried to do his best of his best. He wasn't trying to play for the camera. That's a great kind of person. Then you get other players, maybe like I want to use Rob, Boston Rob, I guess it would be. That guy there, he played the game to play it when he was playing hardcore. Like, I don't mean the social part, but I mean the actual physical games. He was like, as hard as he could, maybe a little lazier at work, but then he also played that social game, and that probably took up most of his work time. But then when you see him come back on in his next season, he does a little, he's a little more. Now, he's the kind of guy that would be maybe good in this game because he's the survival aspect of his life he understands. I want to be able to know that somebody can invest in this game as well as be part of the game and not be a downfall upon other people, so when you invest, maybe I don't take all the people invest, because I could get somebody that's willing to, maybe bet. I'm just going to use a crazy number, but let's say somebody had a bet on there for $50,000 for one of the percents, but got no camera appeal. The person has absolutely no skills in any shape, way, or form. He just has money. Well, I don't care. That doesn't hurt me. I can literally give him back an investment if he was because he's helping through the money aspect, essentially. And as long as we can acknowledge that he's not going to come there and try to help us work and get things backing up, and we don't want those kind of people there. But the players, I'm sure, would prefer the investor who can invest the most overall to be able to do this. Now, I could maybe take one investor that maybe one of the investors that didn't invest the most, as I said, but choose him over another who invested more, but just because he's better in the camera. You get a guy, like Jeff Probst. That guy is awesome on the camera. He knows how to look, work it, and talk. The punctuality between his words and stuff are so on key. He's a great guy. He's a guy I would almost just want as an investor in the game. If that guy, if he could invest in the game, I would take his skill of telling me how to best organize a whole entire game situation. Now, that skill level is very, very high, regardless to if I can, cut down the tree to basically have a tree ready. So, I don't want people cutting down trees on Crown land. On my own land, I can cut down a tree, make it so they come and maybe have to do something with that log, build something with it, do something with it. Now, I'm not worrying about a tree falling on anybody. I'm doing the work myself. Again, if that was, or you have an investor that's skilled as a, that knows how to tree cut, has a chainsaw license, things like that, and he's going to come on there and want to be, invest in the show and be part of it, I can have that guy there. But to have a guy like Jeff Probst and say, hey, come and work the chainsaw, come and cut this, or you can invest, and I can't really do that because, that guy's his worth is very, very high because of his knowledge in the field basically I'm wanting to play this game in, again, as a host. So, if he himself would tell me, hey, I know the best person to host your show, to me, I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe I'd hire, not say hire, but give a person a percentage, basically as a form of hiring him, because he is so well, like if I was to give 0.5% to the host and 0.5% to the trade cart person, and that are going to be on camera, and say, okay, you guys don't need to invest in the game. I'm willing to give you guys 0.5% each, because the one who invested, let's use again the number and the name, and said Jeff Probst invested $50,000 in here, and he was my biggest investor, and he's only investing, not to say, because I could say no, but he's investing because, and I'm taking his investment because he's suggested 2 very qualified people that could host this and be good for it for me, that all of the people in turn will benefit more from. So, you got to have that form of flexibility in this that, that I want to tell people about, with the way I want to look at things, like I say. So I'm thinking outside the box. I'm definitely willing to take opinions, input. I have I play a certain game online. It has administrators, and so that people can get kicked and banned that are cheating, and hackers and stuff like this, and we don't like this kind of stuff. And there's happened to be 2 individuals, one in particular that's an actual administrator there, and he seems to like a lot of my input, and then he's always asking me, do you think this guy is cheating or something, and or if I tell him that somebody's cheating, he'll basically stop his game and go right away to what I'm telling him to go look at to solve the problem. This guy does not like cheaters. He's big into telling people to respect others online, and I like that kind of attitude. Again, there's another, and he's a young guy. Again, there's another young person. That person I'm talking about, he lives in Lebanon, I believe. And the other individual, he lives down South America. I forget the. I don't know if it was. I forget the country that he's in there. But anyways, he is also a person that is very up against. As soon as he sees somebody cheating or something, he's got to say, he doesn't like that kind of stuff. Now, I thought about these 2 individuals myself. If I had the money to actually hire them, I would love them just to come and basically monitor all the people that are like the nominators, all the people that are working all the computers. Now, the killer to this is the one guy that lives in Lebanon. He's about to leave for university to go take computer sciences. Like, he already knows, how to build programs, so he's really good for one of the aspects of this game that I need, and that is the computer aspect, and making sure. Now, I put out videos and I do things. I do a little bit of editing on some of my videos, and I'm not very good with all this stuff, and I don't know all the technologies that come with it. But the thing is this young person who's literally close to half my age, and just about to take off for university. That's the prime time of a young mind. When they hit 23, they're at their absolute peak. So it's almost like a person that I want to invest into, and to pay them. But the reason I pay them is to ensure that they have job security and they'll come and work, because I don't know if offering a person like this 0.5% or 0.25% of the year, and I'll cover, while they stay there, I'll cover their food and basic costs of their basic costs of living. Then again, they still have the internet, so they can still make, family calls from where they are. And the game only plays for 3 months, so it's a very small period of time. Now, again, with the crew of people working, there'll be pretty much to say 3 months before the game is actually played, that I'll need some people, and these are not the nominators or the players, that I'll need some people to come in, or else I'll be working like crazy, which I in time-wise, and all the writing I've already done and what I need, I can already do it. But and I know I can work 14-hour days for myself, and what I'm going to be doing in just 7 days a week, 3 months, I'll be able to do it. To have 2 people there to help me set up. Now, by set up, I mean I have a square kilometer of land to develop, and I don't mean develop like it's all big. I mean to be able to kind of make it mixed up in a way, make sure that there might be certain plants or certain things located equally everywhere. It's not like I have to make a big thing about it, because this is a fall-based game. But even in early fall, as soon as first day of fall when the game starts, there are certain foods and things like that are generally you can find in Mother Nature. It's just the land that I'm going to be on. I don't know if it'll be if anybody doesn't know, almost in Canada, almost everywhere in Canada, almost everywhere I'd say in North America, all the forests have been cut 3 times over again in our generation of living here, like basically in the last 100, in our generations of oldest life. So even the oldest people here have seen almost all the trees cut down 3 times in their lifetimes. So rare, and you get those old forest growth. So the idea is when they come in, and now only in the recent, our generation, have they stopped this mass clear cutting and what they call selective logging. Selective logging is still a little bit harmful, but it still allows a lot of original plants to stay in the local areas and repopulate properly. Sometimes it's even good for certain species of plant, such as raspberry. Raspberry, when you blaze a good trail through there, animals start using that trail. They start eating raspberries. Raspberries get dropped along. All of a sudden, you got more raspberries everywhere. If you've ever come across old settlements in the deep bush up north, where I have, and you can come across where 75 years ago or 100 years ago, it was literally like a big lawn area, and you would have been little buildings all around and everything, and now you can't even see the remnants of a building because it's 6 feet tall of raspberries with 1 or 2 big trails going through it blazed by bears. So the idea is to be able to put these things back in the game. Also, that when the raspberries come harvest time, I can pick them, with the crew of people I have, pick them to get them dried, so I can have these kind of items that we actually need for the game to have for the game. Because I don't want to go to the store and spend $200 in raspberries when it could take me me and 2 guys 1 day of raspberry picking, and we have all the raspberries and dried and everything. It's just and plus all our raspberries we need to eat too for the time we're going to be there, plus all the time we're going to be playing the game. So, it's just to make sure these little stupid things are input, and a lot of them will be done by me even before people show up, so that when they show up, it's like they're just basically, like if I stretch myself out and I do a little, and I just keep going around, and then when I got somebody that starts coming, I basically saying, okay, you continue to do this part, and then I can more concentrate on what I'm doing, and then I get the other guy come in and I can say, okay, you concentrate more on this. So I'm going to be doing most of it, and I have to ensure that I can do all of it on myself first, and that's why I'm making the less complex game with the opinions of the people who want to play, invest, or advertise in my game. And I can literally mold any game from there, because the game that I have, it's a like I think I've shown it before, but it's there's all the papers here. Hang on, 1, 2, 3. I think I showed this on my other one. I have every single day. Ooh, you can't see it very well. Okay, but I have every. Ooh, let me get in the camera there. Oh, there we go. Okay, every single day planned out for, and the increments of games are in 27 hours. Here's a big thing with the games and challenges too. Is that to a degree, not to say I'm going to change them or anything, but that investors could have a little bit of push in there, especially if they're the advertisers in some of the games. So, if I had an advertiser want to do something, but then I had an investor who also wanted to advertise, I might have to, bend towards the investor side, because he's It's, it's more of his side. Not to say I have to, but, if it's a benefit that I take, not the investor side, and it benefits everybody greatly more, even the investor, he just doesn't want to see it, but, because he can't put out his name brand product where he wants it, but the other product's going to give everybody far more, like, again, just use a random number, but if you got the 10 investors that want their, I'm not talking about all the other people that could invest and get percentage, but you got 10 investors with 1% each, and an advertiser that comes in and says, "Hey, I have $100,000 if you advertise this product for us," and I say, "Hey, no problem. We're going to advertise, let's say, this peanut butter." Just use a Kraft comes in and says, "We got this peanut butter," and then we got a small company who also does homemade peanut butters, or style kind of thing, not all big brand like that, but that does more smaller local area peanut buttering, and he's an investor and he wants his investment to be used as in the challenge that we have, peanut butter challenge, or something that happened maybe with peanut butter. And I say, well, if we use yours, you're the only one that's going to make a little money from your form of advertisement, and we have to turn down this $100,000 for this peanut butter ad, and you're going to make a little money. Now, if we take the peanut butter ad and we were just to divide it up and they were all to get 1% from that $100,000, well, now everybody just got $1,000 because I took an advertiser rather than the investor's advertisement. So, I have to play it fair for everybody, and like I say, in the long run, every one person will know that I'm not in it for you, I'm in it to help everybody, and when everybody can understand that I'm helping everybody before themselves, and really before myself on top of that, because I'm willing to bend almost on everything in the game to a degree, except the integrity of that backstabbing, lying, cheating, that part. I have the rules built in that I don't care if a game like Monopoly doesn't imply no cheating, no stealing, that those rules aren't written in there, but nobody plays the game of Monopoly and taking money from the bank. That you're not allowed to do that. You're breaking the rule. The thing is, in my game, you get caught doing something, you stealing or something, there are going to be grounds for you to lose the game, and now you don't even get a percentage, so it's better than a person who's anteing and just gets their money back just because they completed the game. This, you get more than your money back for completing the game, plus more of a long term for doing it. Again, I want the input, the opinions. Make a video and post it about how you think I should maybe do something in this game. I'm going to watch your video. You just have to tell me a link to. I don't care if it's 2 hours long. I will watch your video, because at this moment in time, I'm willing to just put a lot of my focus and energy towards anybody's even opinion, because of how I want this game to progress faster and better. Because in the last month, the increase and because of the subscribers and the increase of the people I've been talking to about this has literally went up. If you're going to do percentage wise, you can go back I think you can go in my views and look at the YouTube and actually see the amount of time people look at what videos and how much time. But if you could go on the CT game that I play there, or CS game that I play, sorry, CS 1.6, you would just be like, you'd see all the people talking about some of the stuff, some of the videos and stuff that I put out. But it's the game that I'm playing, and I email with a few people that I've talked about my idea to, and like I have mailed basically for the opinions and direction from some of the people that are high up in media places like Bell Media. I've wrote letters to lots of those people, and I've gotten only positive feedback from every person. I've never had negative feedback. The only feedback that wasn't positive and not negative was questionable, like they don't understand and want me to explain better why I made one of the videos that I did make. But it's just because I need to explain. I know a little better, and I know people don't understand me. That's why I say, if you go to what is it? About on the YouTube, which will be, hang on, I think it would be on this side right up here somewhere. About, beside discussion, there should be about. If you click on that, you'll actually have the link to my email address, and you can email me any question. And I'm almost going to say I can take any form of nasty criticism. If you think I'm that stupid in this and what I'm talking about, you go ahead and tell me, because I'm a person that usually sees if something is wrong, if it's being pointed out. And, if I make a mistake in my wording or something, I don't care about that. I just want this game to be what the people on YouTube want to watch. And like I say, no one person, if one person was to watch the entire season of all the footage and basically not stop except for their basicness of having to sleep and go to the bathroom. If we took away the opportunity to sleep and go to the bathroom and pretty much just watch 30,000 hours of video, you're going to be there, less than, but 5 years of your, life just watching one season. Now, like I say, that's why I need to have that 13th channel, so I can edit and make everything smaller. Now, you could play this game, then you go back home, and you have the opportunity to watch your entire season, all of it. And you could just hit fast forward and literally watch your entire day long, go through, and watch everything that you do for an entire 3 months. And then you can also go to the channel, the 13th channel, channel 13 that I'll have, and basically be watching your highlighted, if you prefer to do that, and just watch all your highlights from the year. How many people in Survivor, after they're done the game of Survivor, they go back home and then they, every week they watch that hour episode, and then on the 12th, or on the last episode, they're actually, getting the $1 million prize, and it's live. So this will be pretty much live all the time events, and then be able to have your always there. You could be seen live too. So it's going to be a good thing for everybody the way I see it. Again, I want and highly value the opinions of people here, especially people who want to invest in this game, and even more so the people who want to invest and play in the game, and even more ridiculously so the people who want to advertise, invest, and play in the game. These are, those are the people that I'm trying to most please, because I want to keep things fair and make sure everybody wants to play this game. I tried to understand, how did Survivor get their first season of people to go out, and not promise them any form of money or anything on top of that, just the chance to win $1 million or $100,000. And I can almost guarantee you it was because they wanted the publicity, or they wanted the view of, or everybody seeing them, some people like that, or it's they wanted the challenge of the to play this, just to put themselves in a challenging situation. So it's essentially, it's one or the other. It's, did they want to challenge themselves and, try to be in a survival mode, or are they trying to be publicity? Now, a lot of people I know go on to, be on shows, and, again, it's publicity, and they're getting paid for all their little extra things, in their interviews, and go here and go there. You can get all that from this show too. The difference is I'm not going to pursue it for you, and it's not something I'm going to give for you. You have to do it for yourself completely, but it is a platform for any person to do it. The thing is, this game does is the platform everybody makes helps everybody. Unlike Survivor, where one person only helps themselves after the game's done. This, every time you give publicity, it's going to come back. People are going to come back to YouTube because of one person, also seeing all the others, bringing everybody else's stock up. So, this is one of the most fair games you could ever play. It's also one of the most realistic for survival and civilization development that you could ever see. Nobody knows what it was like to capsize in the middle, of Canada 500 years ago. Use John Cabot, the person who first set foot in the first if you will, European, that we wouldn't call a Viking, but the actual, the basic Europeans that we come to know. But John Cabot, being an Italian, got to sail from under King Henry the Seventh and came to Canada, Newfoundland. I know he landed in Newfoundland, and he landed on mainland North America, mainland, like the big body of land of the Americas, before Columbus ever did. Columbus landed on islands twice, and it was his third time here that he landed in South America, and he didn't even stick around long because I believe it was he met a big tribe of people that weren't very happy to see him, but they had heard already from his two previous, from the other tribes and stuff, that of this person. So he wasn't well liked. But anyways, John Cabot, he came over here and he went back, and then on a second voyage when he came back, he was never heard from again. So that his entire crew, what happened to them, and it's more or less that kind of story this game puts out, is what happens when you have nothing and you're in a place that you're pretty much, not say unfamiliar with, but that is somewhat, and it's a game, so it's camping. And it's nothing going to be scary, but it's, if you're willing to eat grubs, and you really flourish in this game if you can eat grubs and things like that, you know what I mean? But, if you're a person that, you can't live, at all in the bush. If you can't even stay in a tent, there's no chance you're going to play this game. So, if you can't go camping in a tent, this game's definitely not for you. But then again, if you want to be part of the game and behind, you still can be. So I hope I've been very informative about my next video. I know it was a little long for this one, but I just had a lot of questions that were asked to me in different ways. People ask, and how do you think you're going to do this? I had to make sure I could construct this game all under my own resources and abilities, and give what I believe, like a $10,000 prize. If somebody's not employed, and to say they're having trouble finding work, to come and play this game literally doesn't cost you nothing for 3 months. In theory, it doesn't cost you nothing, if you're not going to invest or anything. But it doesn't cost you anything. You can come and play the game, and after 3 months walk away with $10,000 if you are truly that skilled. And I guarantee you, after you play the game and people have watched your skill level and watched you come out in first place, you'll have a job as soon as you're done. As soon as you're done this. And like I say, it could be even being hired from me, because I see your skill levels are so high in this situation that you're almost one of the best people to have hired to be working in these kind of environments and keeping up to when I go play the next season. So that's where I have all my ideas. So I want it, like I said, it's a game made for the players first, for the investors second, the advertisers third, and pretty much me fourth. Even though I'm taking 51%, I'm also taking all the basic responsibility, and I think that's a very small, because if I get nothing, literally in the first season, if there's no investment or nothing, it's me just paying to play a game that I want to see played. And I think that for me, I'll have my little piece of land when I'm done. That's why I'm buying the land myself. I'll have a nice little piece of land. I'll have minorly developed, if you will, land, and the crown land around will be beautified more or less, from the people staying there, because they know nobody's going to be permanently staying anywhere. It'll be camping, moving around and stuff. So I'm going to have a really, really nice little area to live in. Now, like I say, I just want some basic common things there. So, the only thing that I'm pretty much missing out there is an energy source and then a communication source, internet source, if you will. It's really the only two amenities that I want that make my life so much more easy. Every other amenity I can almost completely make myself. Like, I can go I don't mind hauling water from a river, running it through a small filtration device. We used to drink well water on the reserve, and that water was literally, you pour yourself a glass, a glass of water that big around, and that tall, glass, and you could barely see your finger on the other side of the glass because it was so dark brown. You poured yourself a bath. Our bath was literally the color was just nasty, but it was the rust in the shale. If you know what shale is, there's a lot of rust in shale, and literally, you know, on the reserve the Indian reserve we lived on, we moved there. We lived there on the reserve 5 years. The cost of living is really, really low, but we had a well system, and you know, we had to install. We could go to town and get all our water and bring it back, is what we did for a little bit, but it was so much more easy just to have a filtration system put in, you know, that essentially chlorinates your water, you know, gets it all to the levels you need to have that are healthy for you to drink, to what's coming out of the tap in a city. So essentially we took a really rotten source of, and I mean rotten source of water, and made it really, really high quality for the drinking and stuff. Because literally when you turned the shower on, we didn't shower with the clean water we drank. The water that we drank had a special little faucet that was strictly for drinking purposes. Because the water, you know, it didn't smell. It wasn't super clean water in the sense of, you know, it was mineral water, if you will, very, very high very, very high the hard water, if you will, you know. So it's a water softener basically you buy, but wasn't that expensive, I know, to run, and you know, it's overall running, you know. But if you would have been running all the water in all, I bet you for, you know, $100 a month you could have full clean water constantly, you know what I mean? All your toilet, you know. But who needs to flush their toilet with drinking water? That's beyond me, you know. So if you're using well water to flush with, you know, you're perfectly fine. Yeah, as long as you got a small, like I say, a small filtration to the water, so you're not getting any particles or contaminants, you're completely fine. So the idea is I gotta make sure where I'm living is gonna have the basic amenities that people like you guys want, you know, like soft water, like, you know, a proper toilet. Like me, I'm perfectly fine, you know, in the bush going to the bathroom myself, you know, especially if I'm by myself. There's no harm, no foul anywhere. But, you know, you got to have a group of people together. You don't want to have everybody running off in the bush, you know, that are in this on my land, just, you know, leaving, you know, walking 100 yards, you know, and going poop there and 100 yards there and pee there. And I don't want none of that in my yard. So you give something, you know, a good common area that, yeah, everybody can go to the bathroom and stays clean. It's very small for these costs of setups. Again, it's a cost that I'm taking on because it's on my own land, but I'm making it nice enough, like I say, satellite, and, you know, an energy source, and that's going to be for all the extra people that come, because nobody out there is going to be working 24-hour days. You know, if you sleep for 8 hours and you know, do work for, let's say, 12, and you relax for 4, that relax time you're going to want to, you know, maybe not watch, I don't read a book. There's going to be stuff you're going to want to do, you know what I mean? Maybe you know, go off the land, completely go off the land area and go for a hike or for a fish. You know, it could be anything you're going to want to do. It's just I got to make the environment for the players. I have to make an environment for the more or less the workers, and then I have to make an environment for me afterwards. So and beforewards, as well as taking in the sense of all the costs are upon me, and I have no investors, no advertisers, and it's all me. So at the moment in time, I've pretty much have 3 people in mind already to play the game, and I have it in sense of their videos. I've watched their videos online. They weren't made directly to me, but because they have these videos, you know, I don't need somebody who's made Fire with Sticks to remake a video Fire with Sticks to send to me. I think I made that sort of clear in my, you know, if I see the videos out there. So now I've sort of talked with a few of the people and with them that have communicated, but there's about 3 guys that I'm thinking right now that people like you would actually love to watch. And, you know, when you look on them on YouTube, they already have a lot of subscribers, you know. So, you know, and I think the guy of the 3 guys, I think the one guy has 500 views, or viewers, subscribers, sorry. He has 500 subscribers, roughly, something getting close to 100,000 views in all. Now, this guy, he's got a nice little fan base, and especially maybe in his local area. Well, this guy, to have my channel running for him, he's going to essentially be able to put a link on his YouTube channel he already has, to say, hey, go look at the YouTube channel I have that I'm playing the game on, and go look at the YouTube channel that the game is. So I have my channel that I have, like I say, the everybody's basically togetherness, and then they can also go on and have that. So he's going to carry 500 subscribers probably instantaneously over to that account. That are just going to move over there. They're basically be subscribing to my channel, but that's his, that I'm just running, basically, so he can't. I don't want nobody doing things that I could change in the way I'm coming across on this game. So anyways, if they were to say something so bad that I don't even consider 18 and older, if somebody's being racist, or, just putting down people completely on video camera for no, I'm not even gonna obviously upload that form of footage to YouTube, and I'll probably be asking that individual to leave the game, because that's not the kind of stuff I need in this game. You know what I mean? Now, I'm looking for 6 women and 6 men to play the game, and like I said, I found 3 men, and I want to say 1 woman, but I'm not too sure. She seems like a woman that definitely thinks, and that's the most important thing, is that you think you can do something for her. If you don't think you can even do it, there's no chance. But it looks like she has a lot of confidence in doing things, and from what I've watched in her videos, she actually has a good grasp of why things are done and everything, which is something I'm watching a lot of videos not explain why something is done. They just do it and not explain it. But she had, and I believe she has herself 2 channels, and she had a lot of viewers herself. Now, that would be the only one girl I've been able to really find on YouTube. But like I say, I want to have 6 men and 6 women playing this game to make it, very fair. And again, I'd like, because I'm in Canada, I have the ability to perhaps choose a mix of nationalities if I can find them. It's not too many people that want from a third world country that move to Canada that all of a sudden want to go camping and put back into those forms of conditions. So the idea is it's really a game for the YouTube. I can't think of a better place to do it, or to be able to do the game as a platform, to show the game as a platform, I should say. I just see it, you can end up liking or not liking, and, in a term, because that's going to be, I have an idea for a little bit of a prize idea, but, to give a little more to a person that's far more viewed than anybody is, another way to give a little bit of a handout and say, you're doing good. Like I say, of the 3 guys, the 3 men or males that I would give maybe an invite to play the game, because I think, that if they don't even want to invest, that they would be skilled enough, and because of watching their videos, they come across on the videos as good, talkative, and they're very interactive, and that's what people are watching things want. And I think they're, good enough to perhaps play the games too that I have. So anyways, of those 3 people, one of them I believe has he had something like I think it was 1,200 subscribers, something like that. But he had over 500,000 views. Now, like again, you bring that on and you link on your channel that you have a channel on the game that's yours. You're gonna all of a sudden bring 500,000 people right over to that, or 100,000, or 1,000 viewers over to whatever, a whole bunch of viewers. No, he had more. He said 10,000 viewers. Guy had a lot of viewers there, or subscribers. Anyways, he's gonna bring all those subscribers over. Now, the other guy who had his subscribers there in the first place, he only had 500. Well, they're gonna see each other's. All of a sudden, you see his and you see his. you're going to say, hey, I want to subscribe for him too because I like this guy's videos too. So now you just brought your 500 subscribers up. How many? And granted, the guy that has already a lot, he still is going to go up. And the thing is once you get 12 people that's again why the YouTube account is kind of required. It's because if I got 12 people that are very well liked and viewed on YouTube, and they're the ones playing the game, and they put out a video saying, hey, I'm going to play this game, check it out on this site or on this channel, you're going to automatically boost your views astronomically on YouTube. You're going to guaranteed make the 12 people all combined that I'm thinking of are easily going to have probably 1 million views each combining because of each other. Not let alone the people that are watching just for yourself. Like I say, I expect, let's say, to the one single channel that I'll be having overall, I would expect that all the people that are enjoy watching all those people will all subscribe to the single one channel, plus all the people that will be coming on because of just the show itself and wanting to know about it, not because of an actual person that they're subscribing to, just because they heard of the show. Now, they're going to come and subscribe to me because they're wanting to watch the show, and they really like one of the individuals. Well, now you got another subscriber who probably just want to watch all your footage and all your real good put-outs. So again, any questions? I know I say it a few times, but I keep wanting to repeat it just in case to really say, do it. Send me opinions, send me questions, send me if you don't think I've thought about it. I have, again, I'll be making more videos to explain more in detail because I get in my mind on one little subject and it takes me a while to hope that I thought of everything about it that I need to. Again, like the costs of the overall game. It doesn't cost me nothing to put it on YouTube, so it's not like I have to think about those costs like it would be if I was going on a television program and having to pay for those kind of things, and having to worry about, an investment to a commercial, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking for any. Now, here's the thing on YouTube is I thought about how to be able to control the commercial thing because I don't know, first of all, how live works. I've never used the live events on there. But I do want people to not be bothered by the commercials like they're on television. I think, a commercial every 15 minutes or half hour, and I mean a 30-second commercial, is already more than I want to watch. That's why I think the advertising needs to be built into the game so people aren't bothered by a peanut butter commercial when you could just have the peanut butter being used in a game, and now you've just watched, instead of a 30-second commercial, you just watched the peanut butter getting used for 5 minutes. That's far more time you'll ever have in anybody who wants to watch a peanut butter commercial. And then all of a sudden you're also finding out that peanut butter, especially if it's, not a big name brand one, but if it's a localized one, and you go, hey, I really like that guy, and that peanut butter is right from my community. Well, all of a sudden, you know what I mean? You can go, it's all these kind of little ideas, it's like raspberries, or any kind of things like that. If I got somebody giving a little bit, and the advertising, it's all the people that are watching it that are going to want those local areas to give. So again, that's why the investors can really drive a lot up of this. So if we got the investors coming in, and like I say, if I can get the 49%, if I can get 49% basically as investors for this season, that is roughly, I believe, onwards of $55,000 of if I get the players to invest, and just the minimum $2,500 for each of those 1% up to the 10%. That's that's a good chunk of money. That literally pays for all the game. It even technically it even pays for the land, but the land isn't coming out of the cost of that cost is upon me. So that that money won't be used. It'll be towards the profit of the game for the percentages of people that will be getting. So almost anybody who invests is almost guaranteed a little bit of return immediately if we hit that number. but you might not hit your full number, you know, until the season's over, or until more advertisers come in, like I say. So, you know, if you can get advertisers, those are the people giving the game money or a product to use, you know, or both. And it's that little chunk that all the people that are, you know, doing this game. That's why an investor could also be real good, because they could invest and advertise. So, you know, you give $2,500 and you got 1%, and then you say, hey, I'm going to give, I have a friend here who wants to advertise, and he's willing to give $2,500 to show his product, you know. Now, you basically, you could have just told him to give it to you and taken that $2,500, and you're getting your money basically right back. And I'll advertise if you're one of the members of the game for you. So you've gotten your money already back. So there's ways the investors, the players, everybody in this game can get more money than they get ever back. Probably with the side deals, could cut far more side deals and make far more money than I can even make on the game. So, you know, I'm like I say, as long as I get back my land, you know, to me, to fork out the $50,000 out of my, you know, less than that, but the $50,000 for everything out of my pocket, I'm still, in the long run, I still have my little building that'll be left over. I still have my land. I still have all the basics that I need to survive, and the only things that I actually use right now. So for me, everything is done, and the game would be played once. I've got, if you think about it, now I've got 5 years of footage that I can go watch for my entertainment, as well as everybody on YouTube can go watch, you know. So, you know, I'm paying a little bit of money to have the entertainment I want to see for the next 5 years, which is call it expensive, but then again, it's an expense I'm giving to everybody. And if I make a little from it, then I'm even more happy. So, again, write to me, let me know. Go to discuss. I go to the discuss. Let's see, over here. Right about here somewhere. Discuss. Go up here somewhere. Discussion. And, you know, anything. Write to me. Go to my email. Let me know. Upload a video. Send me a link to it. I'm going to, you know, if you don't want to write something to me and you'd rather just talk like this, I'll watch your video, and I could even maybe make a small video, send you back. Or if you, but, you know, leave me an email address, essentially, to where I'm going to be able to find you. And I wouldn't say, you know, you can if you want, but you know, don't post your email address right out on here unless you're willing to have other people contact you. But anyways, you might want to give your idea out and link it over to me, because I can send a link of it, and the people that are wanting and playing, that are wanting to invest in the game, can maybe go and watch you and get an idea of who you are, and perhaps be investing a little into you. So, you know, just, I need your ideas. I need your input. It's you I'm trying to make happy in here. And I know how many people like to watch the game of Survivor and things like that. And I have no idea why, you know, there's so many people that, I know this game's more tough, more scary in a way. But if you like camping, and you're a true camper, and you're willing to really, you know, kind of not say live off the land, but in a way have that ability to do it, because in the game there's, you know, ways to it's like trade, you know, you'll be able to get nicer things, but this game is made for the people. So I'm just hoping that this video doesn't bother people. It's not too long, and it's extremely well explained, and that I want your input. All right, bye.